En el centro de la pampa vive un pimiento. Sol y viento pa' su vida, sol y viento. Sol y viento pa' su vida, sol y viento.
Hello, I'm Patrick Barnard. Welcome to the 99th edition of the Pimento Report. We're out here in Pierrefonds-Roxboro, and a group of activists from actually a number of groups are out here making a symbolic protest. What they're protesting is what they say is the illegal construction of an access road, which is all part of a destruction of green space in this part of Montreal. These people, Sauvons are fighting for the preservation of the wet meadows, which are over there, but they're also fighting to have the wetlands that were here restored. So we're going to see this symbolic citizens' protest. It's going to be quite interesting.
The CBC just said they would be interested. Okay, so wrapping up the rear. Here we go. Hi ho, hi ho.
Hi ho.
Hi ho. I know you. Oh, there's more coming, I think.
I'm retired.
Thank you. There we go. Perfect.
Hi, I'm Boris.
The other sign is the white one. She's holding the jackhammer.
Okay, what do you want me to do, sir? Got it.
Gareth Richardson, you're president of the Green Coalition. You're here today. Why are you here?
Well, to support our member group, Sauvons and generally to show our support for the effort that they're putting in to save this very valuable area.
What is the importance of this place and the citizens' protest today?
To raise more awareness about how important this space is to people. It's incredible. People need spaces like this that they can count on as respite every day. They need to go somewhere every day. They need to have a place to walk their dogs, a place to get exercise, a place to get away from the urban sprawl.
And this is an area that's valuable for the whole of Montreal, not just Pierrefonds.
In what way, Gareth?
And that it will form a very large contiguous green space with the connectivity to support a biodiverse population. These wet meadows, although they're not forest-like, are still very valuable ecologically. They're habitat for many species and they need to be preserved.
Now, Montreal has pledged itself to a new target of 10% protected natural spaces. Do you believe that this space and the 185 hectares not far away have to be preserved for Montreal to reach its own target?
Definitely, without a doubt. There's little hope they're even going to reach their target. So yeah, we can't afford to lose anything left on the island unprotected.
The other sign is the white one. She's holding the jackhammer.
That is definitely going to make everything a lot more difficult to find those 10%. Up to this point, they haven't indicated where they want to protect those 10%. We see them talking. We hear them talking a lot protection, and what we see is only destruction of green spaces.
Floris Ensink, you're president of Sierra Club Quebec. You're here today. Why are you here?
We are here today because this is a beautiful piece of nature, a beautiful ecosystem with several kinds of terrain types. There's forest, there's wetland, and there's more open fields. That is unique on the island of Montreal. We don't have those open fields anywhere next to forests. And right here in this field, the city of Montreal and the city of Pierrefonds, the arrondissement of Pierrefonds, want to construct 5,500 housing units. So this beautiful area is what they want to give up for a housing that should be found somewhere else on the island of Montreal.
A reporter just asked you, how is it possible for Montreal to reach its goal of 10% protected green space, an extra 2,000 hectares, if they're going to throw away 185 hectares here? What do you think?
So that is indeed a very good point. It's going to be very difficult to find those green spaces. We hear the city of Montreal saying that they want to protect green spaces, but what we see in reality is that it's only disappearing. So far, the city hasn't announced where they want to protect those, find that 10%. It is really worrying. We don't know up to what point we can trust them. Up to what point after elections, municipal elections, they will say, "Oh, we tried, but we didn't find it." When it's gone, it's gone. So before constructing in places like this, we really want to see where those 10% are going to be, and then we can keep on talking.
Don Hobus, you're with Sierra Quebec. You're here today. What's important about this space and what citizens have been doing?
Well, it's the last remaining natural space on the island of Montreal. It's huge, and it's home to somewhere around 160 bird species. Some of those are on the endangered or vulnerable list. Those birds use this area for nesting and raising their young in the spring migration, and they return in the fall migration. So it's a very important area for birds.
Are you one of those environmentalists who feels that it's time for Montreal to get real and stop sweet-talking people?
Montreal has been very good over the past decennia to give itself a very green image. We've got the centre, the secretariat of the CBD, the Convention on Biological Diversity here. There's a biodiversity center at the Botanical Gardens. There have been all kinds of green and environmental conferences that have been organized. The Conference of Montreal is famous worldwide. It looks like Montreal is a really green city, but when it comes to taking action and really putting your money where your mouth is, then we see very little from the city of Montreal. So
isn't it time for that to change?
That must absolutely change. That must absolutely change.
Lisa Mintz, you're with Sauvons La Falaise, but you're out here today on a Saturday. Why?
I'm here to support Sauvons La Falaise. They tried to put a road through with no permits or anything else. It sounds a lot like the project that I'm working on. I wanted to show support because we need to save all our green spaces and stop government agencies from doing things that are illegal without any permission.
And do you think this is an important case, if I can put it that way?
I think that La Falaise is so important. It's one of the last large green spaces on the island, 158 hectares that we need to make our 10% so that we can save 10% of Montreal's green space for our children and our grandchildren.
David Fletcher, you're Vice President of the Green Coalition. You're here today. Why are you here at this symbolic citizens demonstration?
To demonstrate to Mayor Coderre that we want the fields here saved, that this road is an absolute insult to an agenda that is 25 years in the making. It's his extension of the disregard for public opinion beyond what Gerald Tremblay and his predecessors, gave to the citizens. We're right now at the end of this. We've got to have this, and this road has to be removed. This road shouldn't be here.
Do you believe that it was built illegally without a certificate of authorization?
Absolutely it was. I know, I've been here for a long time, and as much as 10 years ago, I remember the wetlands just behind me. I remember seeing geese in there, I remember seeing ducks in there, I remember seeing kestrels, green-winged teals.
So you've lived this process then?
I've been, I never go to bat for anything that I haven't been on the ground to experience for myself.
Floris,
so if I'm going to the defense of this, it's because I know that it's got things here that are valuable to the public. This is a place that should be saved. There's wildlife here that needs to be conserved.
Alex Tyrrell, you're head of the Green Party in Quebec. Why are you here today?
I'm here today because the city wants to develop this green space, and it's very similar to a lot of other green spaces across Montreal that are being sacrificed right now for all different kinds of development, and I think that it's really important to protect this space. And the Green Party of Quebec believes very strongly that the city of Montreal and also the Quebec government need to take their responsibilities and do everything that they can to protect green space, especially on the island of Montreal.
As you probably know, Sauvons La Falaise and Mr. Don Hobus are part of an injunction request And the claim is that the authorities never got a certificate of authorization to build this little access road here, and there should have been a map before any kind of wetlands were disturbed here at all. Does the Green Party agree with that position?
Yeah, the Green Party of Quebec definitely supports that position, and it's just another example of the government trying to avoid public consultations and scientific consultation about destroying wetlands, and it's something that's very common in Quebec, and that the government definitely needs to change the way that they handle these issues.
This video is going to be seen by people in London, in Auckland, New Zealand, in Boston, in Washington, D.C. If you were speaking to people outside of Canada about this place and what is happening to us now, what message would you give them?
To keep fighting for these spaces in every city. Every city needs them. We can't have a healthy city without places to go like these, no matter where we are.
For people who pick up on this video from other parts of the world, what would you say to them about this space and what we're doing here?
Well, it's an area that if they were to come here, they would want to come back and visit it again.
Anybody else want a jackhammer?
It's something that Montreal could promote as a tourist destination. We're not only promoting this area, we're promoting Meadowbrook, we're promoting Turcotte Yards, the Falaise Saint-Jacques, and we're really looking towards creating a green belt for the island of Montreal, similar to what a lot of cities in North America have done already.
What would you say to those people overseas who will watch this video?
Don't take Montreal's example. Whatever you do, don't look at Montreal's example. In Quito, Ecuador, in 2016, Montreal is going to be presenting its model of the metropolis to the world as something to be followed. And I implore you not to follow the Montreal model. It is a disaster.
Can Montreal change?
It can, but it will require that the people that are in a leadership position here in Montreal are willing to open their minds to new alternatives, to new ideas, and to come up into the 21st century.
What would you say to people outside of Canada who might be looking at this video and see this space? What would you say to them?
I'd say that this is a really wonderful space that we have, and it's really wonderful to have green space like this so close to such major development as the city of Montreal and its suburbs. Green space under attack all over the world, and it's important for people, obviously not just in Montreal, but across Canada, across the world, to make sure that close to big cities we protect green space and that we don't destroy everything. Every city should have a certain amount of green space and green belt, and that's what we're standing here for here at Montreal.
En el centro de la pampa vive un pimiento, sol y viento pa' su vida, sol y viento, sol y viento pa' su vida, sol y viento.